So let's see if we can get this old Niner going this morning. She's on the trailer, got the truck running. I gotta get it moved to my next job. So see if she'll go. Oh yeah. You ever been just chugging down a back road and all of a sudden there's half a house in the middle of the road? Yeah, so I gotta figure out how to get around this boy without can opening the house. This ought to be interesting. House in the road. Well, thank goodness the ditch isn't very deep here. I think I can get over safely. Yeah, I got a car coming here. Sweet. He directed me. I made it. Piece of cake. Past the house, barely made that corner coming in, so I gotta move this barrel. Probably gonna unload on this ramp here. Let's see, got to get rid of some junk. Don't ruin tires. You're saying, Jeff, why you gotta have pilot cars? Well, I was only going, I think the odometer is going to show 2.5 miles on it. All right. Where's your gloves, dummy? I really need somebody here to stay in the cat while I disconnect all this, because I got to lift the blade up and back up and set the brakes. And I've had one bad experience with that. I backed the cat up, set the brakes, unhooked the neck, and here come the cat walking off the trailer. Walked itself all the way down and off, real slow. Clunk, 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 clunk. On a gravel road, which was handy. At least it wasn't a complete disaster. So I probably better stop about right here and set the brakes. So this pit, I think I mentioned this before, they took all the gravel out of here and built Thomas Road here, which is the road I live on. They put like 4 or 5 out here, like 6 feet of gravel under it to get it up to grade. That's why the asphalt has lasted. It was paved when I was 2 years old. I just turned 62 yesterday. So that asphalt's 60 years old. It's never been rehabbed, never been ground up. I have never in my entire life seen a pothole on this road ever. And that's because it has a good base under it. The asphalt was actually blade laid. They laid it with motor graders, and all the material came out of here. The asphalt has a lot of large round rock in it, and also too, I think the oil that they used back then was really good. My understanding is now that the oil companies have figured out how to take more of the stuff out of the crude oil that they can make plastic with, and so your asphalt oil suffers from longevity issues, if you notice that. But now everything is paved with like a 3/8 aggregate because they want a smooth surface for these cars with sidewalls that wide on them. If you remember when you were a kid, how loud small cars were on asphalt roads inside the car. Anyway, which that's easily fixable. You just pave with larger aggregate, better oil. If you can make the oil last 60 years, holy cow. Imagine the trillions of dollars they would save in this country on rehabbing roads all the time. Now I understand not everybody has this kind of aggregate, but every state has rock, I guarantee you. They just have to blast it and crush it. You put enough rock under there to keep you out of the frost and to have drainage so the water never gets under that road base to heave it, and it'll last forever. The more you know. This message brought to you by PBS, Jpaydirt Broadcasting Stuff. Okay, got the cat off and kind of back drug all these willows so I can swing out there and turn around without pulling the wiring harness out from under the trailer. And then the road, I'm going to cut that down, slope it, and come out here with like 3 or 4 feet of fill across the bottom of this, and then tie into the slope coming in on the old pit ramp. I don't know how much of this I'll do with the cat. I'm gonna have to get most of it grubbed off, get the junk pushed out, and get it started. and then I'll have to bring in the scraper to finish it. We're gonna have to haul all that dirty, rocky material off that other job in here and get it dumped before I get the gravel too far this way, or we'll cut off our access to do that. Okay, now I'm stuck. I scraped this mucky stuff off and now it won't move. That ain't good. Well, that ain't good. That's what Brian Block always said. Well, that ain't good. We'll just get it in a higher gear. How's that? Oh, here we go. Spin even more. Yeah, spin back there. I can't even go. Yeah, I can't even go that way. Dang it. Maybe I'll be pulling it out of here with the cat. I just need to get up here onto this frozen material. Nope, not gonna go. Dang it. Well, that's a fine how do you do. Turn you off and use both hands. So it's a brisk morning. So I had the cat running yesterday evening. I ran till dark. So I kind of wanted to show you how much better these things will start if they've been run, because they actually retain quite a bit of heat, but if they sit for more than one night, they'll be difficult to start. Anyway, on a D9, see guys that do this full throttle and they start them and they just chug and blubber and won't run. So the best way to start a D9 is a really low idle. Less fuel you put to it, the better it runs. It's got such a long stroke, it builds so much heat it'll just fire. If all your glow plugs are working, I've started this blow started it before when it was like 20 below zero and didn't turn over very fast. Boy, it popped right off and ran. As long as you don't have waxed up fuel. I'll cut this part out where we sit here and heat glow plugs. Shouldn't really have to heat the glow plugs like I did the other morning when it was frosty in here. That's the other thing, it radiates so much heat off the floor and inside this cab that the windows don't even get frosty overnight. It'd have to get really cold to do that. So I don't know how long we've been heating here. Let me look at the camera timer. About 2:16 since I turned the camera on. Let's see if she'll go. Bash my head. Oh, that hurt. Oh. Alright, so I got this roughed out with the cat. That's basically where it's going to go, tie into that existing road over there. Come through here, down and up the ramp. So I need to go home, get the scraper up here, and start finishing. D9s are good for hogging material. They really ain't no good for finishing a road. Plus the scraper is gonna compact all this. Anyway, I parked the cat there, hope I don't gotta move it. I shouldn't. Anyway, I'll get up on these slopes with a scraper and cut them, pull them back, because I'm gonna need a bunch more material. I must have a bad battery in this camera. It just turns itself off. I got like, what we got here, 94% battery on the screen. Anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely GoPro interrupted, I need a bunch more material down here in the bottom, so I'll just keep cutting this in here and sloping the sides till I get a nice even grade. There it went again, it died. I don't know why it's doing that. GoPro sucks. They absolutely suck. So anyway, I'll get these sides all sloped. Get it on a 4-to-1, something like that. So if they drove off, they didn't tip over and roll upside down. Anyway, Jake's been hauling in that rock from the blasting project and dumping it over here, and then I push it up. But he's got a lot of rock to haul, so I'll just wait for him to dump a ton of it in there before I worry about it. So Jake's out here loading these rocks off. That didn't sound right. So Jake's out here loading the rocks up and hauling them over to the pit. This ain't gonna take long. He's getting a full load. It's amazing how much more material you can haul when there's not tons of voids in it, like the concrete and all that other stuff we were hauling. Anyway, I got scraper plugged in, so here probably in about an hour, I think it's been plugged in an hour so far, I'll go see if I can get it going. Okay, so I got the scraper up here, day late. Went down to the house to get it going, to the shop, and fired it up, and it blew the main airline off the compressor, blew it up, kabang. And what happened was it had some moisture in the governor sensing line, and so it couldn't sense the pressure and it couldn't cut out the compressor, so it blew it up. So I had a spare one, so I had to get that all changed. By the time I got all that done, I wouldn't have been able to get much time in, so I just plugged it back in and then got her started this morning and came up here. So what I'm doing is just cutting this down and sloping the sides of my fill and finishing the road that way. So let me put the camera out here and you can see what's going on. It's a ride back with Jake to get my pickup. Since I'm only 2.5 miles from home, I should probably bring my camper up here. It's so far away from home, you know? It's just absolutely terrible. Oh, good morning. It's a chilly 5 degrees this morning. I got the scraper plugged in. See if it'll go. So I also need the grader on this job too. It's sitting out at where we did the scales, but at 5 degrees I highly doubt the grader's going to run. It's not plugged in. Probably gonna have to take space heater out and let it run for an hour on the tranny and stuff. Engine might start, but that tranny picks up oil and it's just gonna kill the engine. Anyway, this is why the older I get, the more I hate winter. I wish I lived down in North Carolina. I could dig ponds. Oh, tip over trees, burn trees, dig ponds. Just go, go, go all year long, year round. So anyway, if you want to see a video today, today's Friday, I'm gonna have to just show you what I got. It's a long video, but man, I've been busy all week. Just go, 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 go. So hope you enjoy the video. Like and subscribe. I need to get to 100,000 so I can get my YouTube plaque and then quit. Anyway, you guys have an awesome day. I'm gonna go freeze to death. Okay, we gotta see if number one will go here this morning. So when you start a scraper, first thing you want to do is pull it up into first gear. That'll neutralize the high pressure that the pump's going to try to make to operate the transmission. It's a safety deal, so that if you did start it in gear, it wouldn't try to move. But it makes it 10 times easier to start if you do that, because what happens is the tranny pump picks up that cold oil and it will just kill that motor, just bloop. And so to give yourself the best chance to get it going, you pull it up in gear. So I've got pan heaters on these that heats the oil. That way the oil flows, heat rises, comes up through the engine. It should crank over pretty quick. And the more cranking speed you got, the better chance you got to get it to go without ether. So it's like, it was 5 degrees a little while ago, but the sun's trying to come up. It gets even colder as soon as the sun comes up. I may have to get out the ether for the rear motor. But I got a problem with the throttle valve. It'll bleed air to that rear throttle as soon as it comes up with air pressure on the gauge. So what I'm going to have to do is go back there and unhook the air hose to it, because as soon as I start it and this thing gets air up there, or pressure up front, that throttle will go about half throttle. That ain't good for a cold engine. So let's see what happens here. See that? Fired right up. And we got oil pressure already. Pan heaters beat block heaters any day of the week. the Kenworth's got a pan heater and a block heater, so if you want to really warm it up quick, you plug them both in. I just hope my fuel don't wax. It ain't treated. And then I always turn the hitch on. I don't want that pump building max pressure to charge the accumulators till it warms up a little. So I think what I'll do is let it idle for a little bit before I put it in neutral. I'll go and hook that airline, see if I can get the back one to go. Okay, so I'm gonna need a 9/16, 11/16 to get that hose off. So you can hear the pump pumping pressure, but if it was in neutral, it'd really be howling because it's trying to build 300 and some psi oil pressure. Oh man, door doesn't even want to shut when it's this cold. Okay, 9/16, 11/16. He's blowing steam out of her. You know it's cold when a diesel does that. Alright, so let's see here. 11/16 there. 90/16 here, and see if we can get that done. There we go. Probably don't have to take it all the way off, just loosen it. I can't put any air to it, but we'll just take it all the way off. There. Now let's see if she'll go. Nope, gonna have to get some start, you bastard. So about what was it, 2-3 years ago, when I had the ejector cylinder out of that one, and I told myself, don't forget, Jeff, while that ejector cylinder's out, you can get to the pan, you can put a pan heater on that one. And guess what? I forgot to do it. So we'll use a little start, you bastard. Just spray some Big Johnsons in it. Give it the old Big Johnson. See, it's already got air up on the tractor and it's blowing air out. Okay, so here. Have to sit you down. Ooh. Yeah, that temperature gauge is no good. Cat used to use Murphy controls to build their temperature gauges. They were really good gauges. Now they have Stuart Warner build them, and they're no good. They don't last. Okay, let's go to neutral here. Wine now. I think what I'm gonna do is go get a piece of cardboard and put over that rear radiator. Anyway, if I tromp after I get full pressure on the gauge in the tractor, if I tromp that throttle valve a couple times, it'll seat, stop bleeding air back there, and she'll calm down. Okay, here's me a nice big one. That ought to stick. I may have to get a bungee cord and wrap around there to hold it, because I think I'll leave it on, cover most of the radiator. Temperature gauge don't work, but I can usually tell what the water temperature is by watching the retarder temperature gauge up front. It's got an electric gauge for the rear retarder. For a good hour. Half hour, something like that. Before I take off, usually what I do is I'll run the retarders, and that builds a lot of heat. Anyway, it's warm in here. Okay, I think I've done all I can do with the scraper. I gotta go get the grader, but I'm not sure what I can do with the grader because it's frozen. Okay, I gave up on the GoPro. Pull out the trusty, reliable Samsung phone. So I got everything I think I need to do with the scraper finished. I need to bring in the grader and clean it up, but it's frozen and it's dry at the same time. Anyway, it just kind of acts like, you know, when you blade something dry, gravel dry, it knocks the fines out. All you end up with is cobble rocks. And it's too cold to get water because as soon as you put it down, it'd freeze. So this doesn't have to be done till this spring. They haven't even started on a basement in here yet, but once they get going on that in the spring when it's all wet and everything, I could come in and blade it up and finish it. So not sure if I even want to go get the blade and do anything with it. So maybe I'll talk to the owners, see what they want to do. Hey, look, a looky-loo. I'm getting a lot of people wondering, I don't know, they just stop. I don't know what they're doing. Everybody's interested in what I'm doing. This hasn't had anything done with it since 1962, so it's like all of a sudden you get all these houses back in here. They've built in here, but somebody wants to do something with this side. Hell, I wonder what's going on. I'm surprised I haven't had a visit by somebody from the county. Okay, let's see how the Niner starts when it's this cold. Judging from the amp meter, I'm 1 glow plug shy. No, 2 glow plugs shy of a full deck. But usually when you start it and it starts that rattling, those other two make connection and then she'll fire up and run on all the cylinders. It's amazing. Okay, there's 2 minutes. Okay, I got the cat running. I need to go push all that stuff up and finish it nice and pretty. There wasn't that much dirt over there in that pile. It looked like a big pile, but I don't know, Jake had it all hauled in a day and a half. So I got 50% battery on this GoPro, and every time I turn it on and start recording, it turns itself off, says low battery. And I warmed it up. That don't seem to help. Must be bad. Okay, I fixed the GoPro. Smashed it the other day on the lowboy trailer. Had to take a pair of pliers to get the battery out. It's broke. Broke them out. So I got a GoPro 11 coming. I'm a glutton for punishment. Okay, we're gonna double, triple check, make sure that that thing was released. What the fuck?
Drag block getting out of here.
Huh? No, I don't know. You driving or you want me to get it up out of here?
I can drive.
Yes. Write your mileage down the book again. Okay, we got the cat out of here. Scraper's gone. Road is rough finished. Like I said, need water. It's too cold to water. Water the blade and roller, fix it up good. So what we did to come in here and get the cat was drove down in here and turned around and drove up, loaded up on the ramp. You saw that. And then all the rocks and the dirty rocks, I should say, from the blasting job we hauled over here, along with a lot of the dirt stuff from the scale job. Pushed it in this corner, and then I took the cat, pushed it up in here and track walked the whole thing. So it's nice and pretty. So if they decide they want to bring some other material in here and keep filling it, and yes, I did pay them to do this. I just subtracted it off of my bid. So they got a pretty good deal out of it, and it really helped me. Mr. Griffey went with Mrs. Jpaydirt to Lowe's, and they gave him a neckerchief that says Lowe's on it. Lowe's Maytag. Anyway, he doesn't know what to think of it. Do you, Mr. Griffey? He likes to go with me. Likes to go in the truck. He just goes crazy if I leave him. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. It's a movie. Anyway, next week we're gonna move the cat, and Matt will probably be running that because he lives in Pocatello, and we're going clear down North Pleasant Valley, and so it's actually closer for him to drive over to the cat. So if he's not busy, I'll just let him do that. Anyway, there's about I'm gonna guess, I'm gonna get out of here, probably a good week's worth of dozing down there we gotta do, so we'll get that done. They put a stick there, but I just drove over it. Sorry about that, boys. Now somebody else is gonna do it. Anyway, that's what it looks like. All track walked and mashed in. You can see a lot of bigger rocks ended up there. But I told them I'd clean it up and make it pretty, so that's as pretty as I can get it. So, see you next week.